Welcome into this Thursday night edition of the Oxford Exxon Podcast. Chase Parham and Neal McCready, Clark Ford Studio coming to you tonight. We will hit some topics going on around the sports world. We haven't discussed anything on air in a week or so we will talk about that a little bit. We've got a couple packages, one that appears to be already open maybe in front of the table over here in front of us. So we'll do that as well. Coming up on the show, we'll tell you about the very competitive golf match we have coming up in around 36 hours or so, a little more than that, 39, 40 hours or so. So I'm a day off. Sorry, Neal needs a little more time than that. I'm sorry, we're more than a day and a half. It's another day after that. So
more like 60 hours.
We have 60 hours before that. So.
It's not rush this.
We'll start with that in a minute. We'll get to that. First, tell you about the Oxford Exxon.
And there's a 10% chance of rain.
10%?
Yeah.
You rooting?
Can't say that I'm not rooting.
Well, because if it gets wet, Braden's ball won't roll as far. You have a little bit of a chance because, he's going to, the ball's going to stick. The greens will be a little more receptive for you. That's good when it rains. So
there's a scene in Bull Durham where he says, Crash Davis says, "Boys, what we need is a good old-fashioned rain out."
After one range session, Neal thinks that that may be what's in his best interest. We'll tell you what we're talking about if you're not aware in a second. But anyway, Oxford Exxon, Highway 6 West in Oxford. Speed Pass Plus out. Get to know it. Use it. Take advantage of it because it's the safest way to get your fuel. All Blue Sky locations in Mississippi, including, again, the Oxford Exxon. You go next door to the Oxford Crystal. Use the drive-through. A lot of Water Combo locations in Mississippi. Again, coming to you from the Clark Ford Studio.
We are Clark Ford's in Amory, Mississippi, 662-257-1900 is that number. Call it. Ask for Corey Clark. Tell Corey what Ford product you're looking for. He'll send you a quote. Within 15 minutes in business hours, no hassle, no haggle. You get your quote, and the rest is completely up to you. You can take that quote, shop it around, of course, or you can do what I've done and take that quote and get yourself into a Clark Ford. You will love the product. You'll love the service. Corey and the people at Clark Ford go the extra mile all the time to take care of you. They want to be your car guy. They want to be your truck guy, and they'll prove that to you when you make the call. 662-257-1900. Guest, join us on the Rafters Music and Food Hotline. So when people call in today, you'll be calling in on the Rafters Music and Food Hotline. It is located Rafters on the Water is open, I should tell you. It is located at the Sardis Marina. You can come experience outdoor dining unlike any place in North Mississippi. The menu offers shrimp and Mississippi catfish platters, along with gourmet burgers and Louisiana-styled po' boys served on Leidenheimer French bread. The hours are Wednesday through Thursday, 3:30 to 10, and then on Friday through Sunday, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. They have a newly expanded picnic-style dining area, signature appetizers, including Zydeco shrimp, crawfish egg rolls, live music as well. So we got some fun cocktails, including their famous house frozen margaritas. They still have to-go. They still have curbside pickup if that's what you would prefer to do. That's cool. 662-712-6162 is the number to call to make that happen.
So, this thing's come together pretty quickly, especially Neal's only known about it for 48 hours or so. So, credit to him for being a pretty good sport because we all know how this probably will look. But I was kind of thinking for several days, kind of something we could do, something to raise money for good causes, things to use our reach, and the fact that you guys always help us out. You always play along. You always participate in the schemes that we have over the months and the years, including the last time we did that golf event, I think we raised about $20,000 for St. Jude and some other some medical centers and different things as well. So what we real quick in the live stream, 5 o'clock's not necessarily the new time slot. It just worked better today. We'll tell you every week what we're doing. 5 is a little easier on us, I will say that. But yeah, it's a little easier. So nonetheless, but anyway, I didn't really know. I thought about golf, but I didn't really know what to do. Also, you're very beholden to people's availability in a number of different ways with that. And I was watching or following along on, I guess, Tuesday. I know Neal probably had no idea about this, but the Foreplay Pod, which is the Barstool Sports Golf podcast.
Oh, yes, the Foreplay Pod.
Yes, they hey, we missed that one years ago. We were trying to look for names. They were doing a scramble, a 4-man scramble against Kevin Kisner, top 35 player in the world at Pinehurst, number 2, from the U.S. Open tee markers, so about a 7,600-yard course. From there, they raised a bunch of money for a couple different things, and I making sure our internet's fine. I thought I had a little problem for a second, but I think we're good. Okay, it did for a second. It had a little issue, but I think we're okay.
Really?
Yeah, it said resumed, but I assume we're fine.
That's my fault for jinxing it.
Yeah, okay. I think we're fine. Give us some thumbs up to make sure I'm fine. If you're listening on the podcast form, you know this happens when we're live occasionally, so it is what it is. So just throw me some thumbs up. Tell me we're fine if we're fine before I go on and on and on. And
the lights on the modem and the Euro indicate.
Yeah,
that
everything
we're okay.
looked fine, but I had just a little like whatever, and it said stream resumed. So I didn't know what we lost in the matter of that because the live chat had gone out for like 30 seconds or so. So that's
all the indications on this end are
it said just a quick glitch. Said that it just had a little bit of a little pause there, a little bit apparently. So anyway, okay. So the 4-play guys, they played Kevin Kisner in 4-man scramble. It was a pretty good deal, and I called Chris Malloy and I said, okay, what do you think? What should we do here? We thought, okay, yeah, see if we can find one of the pro golfers associated with Ole Miss or whomever, and then maybe we do a scramble. But I was like, I don't really want to copy them exactly. Let's switch it up a little bit. Plus, the problem you have is when you're trying to do a scramble, and I know Neil, so everybody hits, pick the best ball, everybody hits again. You're all on one team. You're all playing one ball if it's 4 players, okay? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
The problem is like, okay, how good do those 4 players have to be good enough to compete against the pro, but not so good to where it's not fair for the pro? You know what I mean? That's kind of a really small window there. Because, like, no offense, but, like, I get you and another guy, we aren't helping much. So then what's the other 2 people have to look like to be able to go head up against him?
Yes.
Exactly. So that was my problem.
So you thought, well, so instead of that, I'll just put Neil against a pro.
I did, because I thought, okay, if nothing else, I can manipulate this thing. I mean, Braden's not aware that I could get to, like, the 8th hole and go, Braden, you're only playing with a putter for the next hour, bud. Like, who knows? Like, I'm the ombudsman. I'm the dictator here. I can make the rules as we go. So
could he just have to play with the putter for the entire time?
You would probably win, although I bet if he teed a ball up, he could hit the hell out of it with a putter. Because of the straight face, I bet he could hammer the ball off the tee with a putter.
Oh, I don't doubt that.
Yeah, that's my guess. So, so what we're going to do, so Sunday morning, 8:42 a.m., we're going to play Neil against Braden Thornberry, the professional golfer who was the 2017 NCAA champion. He's going to Florida this week to begin his season, to start preparing for his season. And the way we're going to do this, because I think this is, pulled up Neil's card from the last time that we played.
Which was the last time that I played.
Well, fair. You've been to the range. And he shot a 151, and Jonathan Randolph hit 2 of his tee balls that day, which I think probably conservatively saved you 10 strokes is my guess, give or take.
More than fair.
They were both par 3s, but he got you in there pretty close, and I think that did save some strokes. So,
So at this point, I'm shooting a 161.
Something along those lines, yes. So I got a few gimmicks planned. You'll find out those as Sunday gets here. But the thought is Neil just has to double Braden's score to tie. He's going to play up at least 1 tee box, up maybe 2 tee boxes. I haven't made my mind up on that yet. And so an 8 ties a 4, a 7 beats a 4. And the better thing about match play, too, is that if you make a 13, that's just a lost hole. It doesn't matter. It's the same as a 7. So I think that also helps, too, that we're playing match play.
Sure.
The goal is to get this thing to what, like the 14th hole? Is that your hope? 14th, 15th?
I mean, 11th hole.
11th, which means you won one
hole
throughout the...
Yes. No one ever answered my question, by the way, because I asked a question when you put this out, and I think a lot of people thought I was trying to be funny. I was literally asking a question, which was, will there be beer?
Yeah, we can have as much alcohol as you would like.
Well, that's probably going to help.
What you think so?
I think so, because actually I think it will stop me from getting pissed off at myself when I'm like.
I mean, we can just start funneling the vodka at 8:40 if you'd like.
Well, I don't want to do that. I don't want to be able to. I want to be conscious, but
you're fine popping the breakfast beer at 8:45 and starting your morning.
Yes.
No, we can make that happen. There is no issue there whatsoever.
I actually think that it would somewhat improve my game. The last time that I played, it was about 10 degrees when we started.
It was very cold.
It was really cold. It warmed up and turned into a nice day.
But the wind was whipping, and it was a day.
But I was battling some elements on that day.
So you're not battling elements this time.
And I was battling a very harsh rules keeper who every time that anything went somewhat wrong, it's like, oh, well, that's a 3-stroke penalty. I'm like, I don't even know what I did.
But the point was to run your score up. It was for charity because people donated per stroke.
I understand that. I get it. I'm just saying from my standpoint, as a pretty competitive person,
we're going to be a little more lax on you on Sunday from that standpoint. We I think this is fair. I think I'm a little worried about you getting T-ball in play because if you don't, the hole's over. That bothers me a little bit.
Well, the one positive thing from my session yesterday
was the driver.
Was I actually hit the driver. I probably hit 20 drives at the range.
Okay.
And I would guess 8 to 10 went down the middle.
Well,
I was pleased.
Cooking with gas if we can do that.
Now, when I pulled out the 4-iron, that was a total disaster.
Yeah, we're going to put that up.
The 5-iron went much better.
You don't have a hybrid in your bag, do you?
I don't even know what that is.
Okay. No, I don't think you do.
The 8-iron was pretty decent.
You need that one.
And I got the pitching wedge up into the air,
okay,
but I couldn't control which way it went.
We're going everywhere.
I would be trying to hit it to the right, and it would go to the left, but it was pretty. It had the arc and stuff.
You're going to need to be really good around the greens. We're going to have to chip and putt well.
Yeah, the putting part, I actually have some degree of confidence. Now, I haven't used that putter yet. I'm going to try to go do some of that tomorrow.
Okay.
The chipping thing, I'm probably going to do the same thing that I did last time.
Putt from everywhere.
Which was once I got within about 75 yards, I just putted.
Well, that takes the big number out of play. We're going to move toward the green.
Yeah. Because,
I mean, look, if you know you got to make it 8 to tie a hole and you're 50 yards out after 3, let's try to 5-putt that.
Yeah, absolutely. That's my point. So,
yeah.
I did learn a few things the last time, so we'll see.
Okay. What we're going to do, we're raising money for 2 different charities in this one. Each team or each individual has one. Neal playing for the Boys and Girls Club of North Mississippi. Braden playing for United Way of the Mid-South. You can find a couple of different ways to donate on a message board on our Twitter account as well. We really appreciate you doing that. The more money to raise, the more motivated I will be to bring in some other events, maybe embarrass myself a little bit too, to do some things to make this fun for you on Sunday. You can give on Venmo with the username MPW Digital. Just search it, you'll find it. You can give there. My ask there is you put either golf or a golf emoji in the subject line where it asks you what you're doing. And for transparency purposes, unless you want it to be anonymous and you say and tell me in there to make it private, I will make all those public for everybody to see what we get from that standpoint. You can also use PayPal. I believe the Oxford Exxon Podcast is the username. My email will work for that as well. That's chase.parham@gmail.com. So those are the 2 ways to donate. That got started this morning. So, yeah, it was one of those deals where I made a couple calls, and I kept expecting people to just say no and kill it. And I talked to Braden, and he goes, yeah, sounds like a great idea. And I went, well, I'm kind of in now. That's sort of pot committed once Braden says yes, and he's willing to do it. So I called Neal, and I said, hey, I'm going to need you to embarrass yourself on a golf course. And he said, okay, and the rest is history, and here we are. So that's how this came about. But my goal right now is to live stream a good bit of it. Saying the whole thing might be a little ambitious. We'll see. Haley will be out there with us. She's helping me as much as possible. We will update people on the message board, on social media, and on some semblance of a live stream. I'm not sure if maybe we do a couple holes through Periscope. I don't know if we try to keep the YouTube stream going for a while. I don't know. We'll get there when we get there. But nonetheless, that is the plan. 8:42, the tee time on Sunday morning. So
good.
You got your script already planned, clothing wise. Know what we're gonna go with.
I've had people request that I wear the Houston Nut Arkansas hat.
Sure.
I'm a little reluctant to do that because the people that might tune in not knowing the whole backstory there might
That's
think,
true.
oh, you're being
okay.
You know what I mean? So there's a little reluctance about that.
You can even wear the Iowa helmet if you like.
Well, I mean, that would be funny as hell. I don't think
it would be cumbersome.
And cumbersome's not a great idea. In fact, the Arkansas hat might be cumbersome.
It's an homage to John Daly, is what it is. That's
Tiger Woods red polo with the Houston Nut, Arkansas.
Yeah,
hat.
don't wear red and black.
No.
Let's not do that on
No,
Sunday.
No, I'm not doing that. I do get to wear shorts this time, right?
But yeah, whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll wear decent shorts with that button and everything, but last time I was all bundled up early, and that was cumbersome. This will be a little more comfortable.
We'll do this. If I'll look in a minute to see what our number is. If it is $500 higher than right now, when we close the podcast, Neal will wear the Houston Nut hat. We'll do
All right.
that. $500 from right now to then.
I will go get the hat so people can see the hat that I'm speaking of.
Okay. Neal is getting up for the podcast people to go get the Houston Nut hat. I am mildly, there's the hat. Okay. I'm telling you, though, you don't look bad in that hat at all. Like, it's kind of growing on me. Like, it's not bad.
Well, it's very kind of you. It's a lovely hat.
Oh, you think it's bad?
No, I don't really have any thoughts on it.
Okay.
It's just a hat. I think it looks a little silly.
I'm just saying, like, the straw hat looks better on you than I would have anticipated prior to me knowing what it looked like. That's what I'm saying.
It's a fairly comfortable hat, believe it or not.
It's a golf hat enough. Be fine.
Yeah, you understand my concern about the optics.
I completely understand. Well, you could take the headband off.
I could take the headband off, but that would stop it from being
That
a
takes
Houston Nut.
Yeah,
Houston
then
Nut.
you're just looking like a farmer.
Then I just look like Farmer Brown out there on the course. I'm already out there in a pair of running shoes, so.
I'm not sure you could look dumber anyway. So,
Laura
what's the
said,
difference?
do you need to go get shoes?
No,
and I was
no,
like,
no.
why would I do that? Why would I spend whatever it costs to buy a pair of golf shoes to wear once every 3 years? I mean, that just makes no sense at all.
It's like you're using a demo set from the club, and the guy walked out and he goes, "So what are we looking at?" I said, "The biggest heads you can find, whatever has the most ground to cover. That's what we want. Is the clubs for the event here. So you got a pretty nice set. There's pretty good bit of dollars in that.
They're nice clubs. I could tell they were nice clubs. I haven't used the putter yet, but
Couple donations starting to roll in as we're doing this.
Oh, really?
Got the cap on. Yeah, it's popping up on my phone. So
okay.
that's where we're at. We'll see where it goes throughout the show. I get your trepidation. I think we could probably head it off at the pass. A lot of people get the game by now that would be actually watching the live stream at that time.
I don't get much of that. In fact, I've only gotten it a couple of times from people about you're an Arkansas fan because your daughter goes there, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get much of that. It's all, I think most people have figured out that Campbell made her own decision, and I'm as much of an Arkansas fan as I am any other kind of fan. I mean,
Don't say Iowa.
Well, no, I'm a bigger Iowa
don't
fan
say
than
Iowa.
I am. I mean, if Arkansas played Iowa, I'm cheering for the Hawkeyes.
Yeah, because I think Campbell will probably get over it. I have a hunch she'll still go to bed fine that night.
Yeah.
She won't need an extra melatonin. It'll be all right.
I mean, if I told Campbell I was cheering for the Tridelts against the Coyotes, we might have some issues now, but no.
It'll be fun. I think I have the right plan in place. I will be a little nervous because I don't want it to be 10-8 in one direction or something. I would like it to be fairly competitive. So again, if I have to rig this thing as it's going to do that is perfectly within my capacity. I don't think Braden will get annoyed with me. I'm not even 100% sure that he knows exactly what we're doing. I think he just knows he's supposed to show up and play golf, and he'll let the chips fall where they may. So it's
Well, hopefully he's not in a super competitive mood.
I mean, come on. I get it's match play, not stroke play, but just doing some math. Even if he shot 65, all you need is a 130.
Well, I can't shoot a 130, so I need him to shoot a 175 for me to even have a slightest of prayers. And he's not going to shoot a 175. So, I mean, a 75. So, I mean, there's a 0% chance of me winning. I mean, getting it to the 13th or 14th hole would be an accomplishment.
On your last round, you would have been 1 up through 5 if those scores had played.
And I would consider that a huge victory.
Because you would have tied something as long as he didn't birdie that hole, which he could, obviously. And then you had 2 sevens, which would have won
Yeah.
holes.
We'll see.
We'll see.
I mean, I'll do the best I can.
Yeah.
You gave me a glove last time, and I saw it like 2 weeks ago, and I went looking for it the other day, and I can't find it. So
I'm sure we can find you a glove.
there's a
if you'd like
glove
to.
somewhere. But to prove to you that I know I'm not doing it right, I'm right-handed, and so you put the glove on your left hand, but it was my right hand that was getting blisters the other day, not the left. So I'm doing something wrong.
Well, no, you just haven't swung a golf club. I mean, because like I've got calluses on both hands from golf. I mean, I've got like a weird looking finger because of golf. Like, see the little like thing on the side of my finger right there?
Yeah.
That's strictly from a golf club.
Huh.
Yeah. So don't do that.
I still have stuff on my fingers from opening beer bottles as a bartender.
Oh well, there you go. Same thing. Very,
Yeah.
very, 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 very similar. You were headed out today. It rained it out.
It did. So
We had a pretty good pop-up thunderstorm for a little while in Oxford today.
My goal is to get food for thought written
And then go out in the morning.
and then get my workout in early tomorrow and then go.
I'll come look at your swing. I'm not a golf pro. I am trying to set you up with a little bit of a quick lesson to get that situated. But we'll do the best we can. It will be what it will be. That is the answer.
Hopefully it makes some money for a good cause.
We're trying to raise money. Friend of a podcast and our pastor Eddie Rester was very happy. He's the Oxford participant in the Dancing Like the Stars this year with the Boys and Girls Club. So
I could get Eddie to come out and pray for me the entire time.
that might help. Hey, we'll take all
I mean,
if divine assistance is what it takes this time. Hey,
I would certainly take it.
We can.
By the way,
Yeah.
thanks to Jonathan Ingram.
Okay.
Someone asked earlier in the stream what beer I was drinking. I'm drinking what's called Hipster Sauce. It's from 11 Below Brewing Company, which is in Texas. Jonathan sent a bunch of beers. He also sent – you hadn't even seen all this, have you?
I have seen none of this, so show it to us.
Sent a bottle of 1835 bourbon whiskey, 90 proof, Texas made.
Okay.
Very, very nice looking bottle. And you and I were talking about this before we get to those. He also sent a bottle of Old Humble straight whiskey.
Okay.
Which is made in Texas. And then you and I were talking about this. Texas is the one state. This is the Republic whiskey. It's made in Austin, Texas. Here's the bottle. Texas is the one state that they just, by God, their motto is we're Texas and you're not. And the bottle in the shape of the state of Texas and a bottle of tequila, Republic tequila, also blue agave made in the I don't know if it's made in Texas or not. It's interesting. I should have looked that up. I'm not sure.
What is it?
No. It's made in Mexico, but it's imported by the people.
You're still a tequila fan, right?
Oh yeah.
You've gotten
Sure.
really into that.
I like tequila, mezcal.
What changes your night, whether it's bourbon or tequila? What are we doing? It's got to be a little mood based.
Just a little bit of mood. A little bit
What do
of
you
mood.
put? You're doing lime in the tequila though.
Sometimes, not all the time. Sometimes it's just like drinking like a bourbon over an ice cube.
Oh really?
Yep. Just kind of.
So not my thing. Not even a little bit. Let me pop one of the bourbons though. Try 'em.
Okay.
Just kinda
Which
curious.
one you want to try?
I'll try the actual bourbon because one of them is just straight whiskey, right? Okay. Yeah, we'll do the bourbon.
Okay.
You said it's a 90 proof, so it's a sipper probably. You got an age date on it?
Looking.
Okay.
I don't see one. I'm looking though. I don't see one.
That's fine. What are we doing out there? It's only 5:30, so are people pouring cocktails at the 5 o'clock hour on this Thursday afternoon. What are we doing?
A little interesting news out of Texas, by the way. Did you you and I talked about it, but we haven't talked about it on the thing. This is from Field Yates, who covers a lot of NFL.
Yep.
He tweets, Texas Governor Greg Abbott has issued a revised order. This is today at 2:09 p.m.
Okay.
Not only will professional sports leagues be allowed to resume play in June, but outdoor stadiums will be allowed to host fans up to 25% of their capacity. Since we are primarily speaking to an Ole Miss audience, it should
that should be good news.
It bears noting that Ole Miss is scheduled to open its season inside the state of Texas.
That's true. And
on Sunday night. Now, in that scenario, I would assume – I'm being serious here. I would assume that means that you have to open the roof at NRG.
Well, if you have the ability, I don't know why you wouldn't. So, yeah,
Well,
sure.
normally you wouldn't because it's hotter than hell.
Yeah, but given the climate,
but
yes.
Right.
Jonathan's in our chat here. Thank you for this. Says he's having the same bourbon that I'm currently pouring. He's a man of his word. He asked me about beer and bourbon a few weeks ago, and then here we are. So,
it's a really good IPA, Jonathan. So I don't know. That's good news.
It's
because
great
here we
news.
are in May.
This is mostly a podcast kind of argumentative thing, but I'm just kind of curious. There's nothing scientific about 25%. Why is everybody stuck on 25%? I mean, I get that there's a spacing issue, but you know how this is going to go. There's going to be some areas where it's more and less and all over the place. So why?
I think it's just a beginning number.
It's a starting point.
I'll give you my honest opinion, which is a lot of people want to go, look, we're going to fill the damn thing up. But in an effort to be politically correct right now, 3 months out, because I think Ole Miss's opener with Baylor is 101 days away.
Is it?
My daughter,
Neil will start his 100-day countdown tomorrow, going through the entire roster
yes.
with a quick 1,600 preview of every player. So that will begin tomorrow morning.
Caroline said today that it's 100 days till the opener, and Laura said, who are you talking about? And she said, I think she mentioned some of the SEC schools. She didn't.
Oh.
She said somebody. I guess she'd seen it on Arkansas's deal in Tennessee or somebody. Anyway, and I said, well, Ole Miss opens on Sundays. They're 101 days. So if you told me 101 days from now that you've gone from 25% to a much higher number, I'd certainly buy it. But right now, in today's political climate, if you were to come out and say, hey, we're going to open this thing up, and if you want to come, come. If you don't. It's cool. The pushback from the fear people would be so vociferous. I'm telling you, this 25% thing over the course of a season for SEC schools is financial suicide.
Better than zero.
It is better than zero, but it's still really, really bad.
Well, do the math. It's 20 for Ole Miss. Let's forget other schools. For Ole Miss, it is give or take. Let's go. Let's play off the person I talked to last week who gave me a number on no fans. 23 million-ish in losses compared to a normal season.
I mean, take a step back and think about that number for a minute. $23 million lost on a season that a lot of bowl games just aren't going to happen. If we're still talking about this in September, October. $23 million. I mean, the question I would have, and if we were talking to Keith Carter, is, so what program do you kill?
And that wouldn't be – I've been told that wouldn't be a year-one conversation. It would take multiple years to get there.
Yeah, but it would still be a question I would ask because I'd want to hear the answer.
Just in case. Just curious. Where are you headed?
Oh, yeah, my question would be, does that mean you have to kill a program? His answer would be no, but we're going to be bare bones in some stuff. I do mean bare bones. Staying at the Comfort Inn and having Hamburger Helper on the road.
Cole says I have 4 tickets, sucks for my wife and kids. I mean, there would be a few of those decisions. I mean, I will say. I mean, you never know how that would go.
I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen.
Mark says, what percentage of people do you think would go crazy if you just said open it up? He thinks it's less than we think. Well, here's the problem.
Well, no. I'm talking about, and I know what people say.
What are you talking about?
Media, the Twitter stuff. Look at Twitter. Anytime
Should we look at Twitter, though? It is a vocal cesspool.
No. The answer is, should we? No.
Bad companies dictate response off Twitter, and it is the worst PR move a company could possibly make because Twitter is nothing but hyperbolic, unhappy people.
I understand that. But sometimes it impacts public decisions.
But it shouldn't.
Well, I'm not. First response, second wave, here we come. Next response, second wave, here we come. Fourth response, the idiot award goes to the governor of Texas. I mean, that's people. I think the better question is if you let's say you opened it up, Ole Miss Baylor, and it's impossible to answer this question because you don't know what the numbers look like on September the 5th. Is that what that is? September 4th, 5th?
It got moved to the 6th.
So September 6th.
Sunday night.
Okay, well, still, that's the best. On September the 4th, on September the 5th, what do the numbers look like when people are deciding, are we going to load up in the family Suburban and go to the game or not? It's impossible to answer, but as of today, how many people that stadium holds, let's call it 70,000 for the sake of a round number.
Sure.
How many people are at that game on a Sunday night? Next day's Labor Day, nobody's got to go to work.
It's completely open?
Yeah, wide open. Opening the roof. It's going to be hot.
Okay. Here's your question. You know how this works with those type of games. You got 10. You got 15. Baylor will take a lot because it's a little close-ish, whatever.
They've been really good for a while. It's a brand new coach. He's undefeated.
You got 30,000 Baylor people. Fair.
That's a lot, but
25, whatever. Pick a number.
I don't know.
20.
Sure.
20. Ole Miss takes 12,000. I don't know. Whatever.
I think Ole Miss would take more than that.
Well,
but okay.
Point being, they're not. You know how this game. My point on all this.
All right, let's call it 25 and 15. However you want to do it. That's 40,000
people. That still leaves
people.
35 empty seats.
Okay.
Here's where I think it's completely empty. Is I don't think any of those corporate people give a crap for that under these circumstances. I think you have a lot less of the local, the corporate, how the bowl just kind of sells the rest of those tickets. Yeah. I think that's a very minuscule number compared to how it normally would be at these games. So I think you're talking about a stadium that's got 45 to 50 in it.
I think if you told the people in Houston today they'd have 50,000 people at the stadium, they'd say, cool, let's do it.
Yeah.
I mean, I still wonder, like, when people say, well, there's going to be an outbreak. Well, how do you trace the outbreak back to a football stadium? How do you know it didn't happen at the restaurant before you got to the stadium? I mean, I got asked today, would you let Campbell go to a Arkansas game? Yes. Sure. Absolutely. Without hesitation.
Very oaky bourbon, by the way.
Sorry?
Very oaky bourbon. Getting a lot of oak in that. A lot.
Jonathan's in the thread. He says Houston will be back to normal by the game. Bars are packed now. I mean, bars are packed kind of everywhere. I see the pictures all over the place. And
I talked to a bar owner yesterday in town. Said business better than expected. Yeah, everything's kind of rolling.
Look, I don't want to get political and bash on people. I don't. But when people say, well, numbers are up. Numbers are up or percentages up? Because there's a difference. We're testing at a record each day now. Tests are more voluminous. So, of course, it stands to reason that, 4% of 40,000 is more than 4% of 20,000.
Thanks.
Hospitalizations are down. Deaths are down. Take nursing homes out of it, and deaths are really down. I don't mean this disrespectfully, but the odds of nursing home patients going to football games in the fall are not good.
I know we don't have an answer. I know you've asked Keith this. I know I've asked Keith this. I'm still fascinated by what they do with the Grove. I'm playing off something Michael said in the chat there.
They'll do with the Grove what they do with the stadium.
Percentage-wise?
I'm pretty confident in that.
But how?
Well, he told me this. Now, he said it's not his call, thank God, and I thought for his sake, damn right.
That's the one where you do pass the buck, isn't it? You go, hey,
well,
look.
Let's hypothetically, and I don't think it's going to come to this, but hypothetically say that you decided that you were going to socially distance Vaught Hemingway at 25%. He thought you would have to build a fence around the Grove and put people at entrance points and run in and out numbers. Yeah. 2 out, 2 in. I feel sorry for the people that would have to man those spots. You couldn't put enough money in my pocket to do it. But, I mean, in that scenario, that's what you'd have to do. I saw today, speaking of Iowa, the president of the University of Iowa was talking about their stadium and talking about tailgating around their stadium and how you would do that. And to his credit, he and the guy at Purdue are really sharp.
Purdue's Mitch Daniels. I don't know who the guy at Iowa is.
I can't think of his name. But his answer was, well, we have some time, but we do have to make plans for different scenarios. And he talked about how you would have to, in the areas that they controlled, you would have to control population. Which was his way of saying, and in the areas that we don't control, you all do whatever the hell you want to do.
I thought Mitch Daniels was interesting, and you pointed out this too. He mentioned large gatherings, including concerts and fraternity parties, and he never said the word football in his entire article.
Stayed away from it.
Yeah, because they're going to play football.
Because they're going to play. Well, if you're Purdue, you need to play, right?
Well, it's like, I know you mentioned this on G-Pits. It's like with the Michigan guy. They're going to play football. They just are. Right? So I don't.
That was political. That's what
See,
pissed
I thought
me
it was
off
medical. I thought he was a very conservative, because his background is in viral immunology.
Yeah.
I thought he was being a very conservative medical professional.
I took it as him kowtowing to Michigan politics.
Well, like they're the most conservative in the country right now.
Yeah, their governor has,
meaning they're not allowing anything, not conservative as in
no. Yeah.
You won't confuse her name.
Ron DeSantis says, whoa, hold up. What?
Yeah, Whitmer and Kay Ivey do not look alike from an ideological standpoint right now. We'll go there.
A little different.
So,
but Florida's opened up. Georgia's opened up.
Well, half of Oxford's in Orange Beach in Florida right now.
Yeah. You just throw in hanging curves. Like, let me see if he swings at this one. Let's see how disciplined Neal is.
You laid off of it
right now.
you?
Chase is like, I wish I'd waited for his 5th beer.
You laid off that.
I did. I laid it. I saw it spinning, and I said, it's a 3-0 count. I'm going to let it go.
There's a fastball at some point. We're gonna go with that one.
But Caroline's, her friend Gracie. I'll leave last names out of it because her parents might not want their name out there. They were at Rosemary, I think, or Seaside or somewhere, 30A. And Gracie was telling Caroline, it's going to be weird to come back to Oxford because it's so laid back down there and so uptight up here from a kid's standpoint. These are 17-year-olds. They're not going to the bars. They're talking about retail shops and going in to get an ice cream or whatever. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And just talking about how down there the restaurants are full and the people are in the stores and no one's wearing a mask. And in Oxford, it's not that way. Like the people that are like, well, I'm not wearing a mask. Well, then there's no point in coming here right now. No matter what you think of it or whatever. I mean, that's the rule. Them's the rules, as they say.
Hey, look, you can go shop wherever you want to shop. If you want to come here and put a mask on, if you want to go to Water Valley, if you want to go to Batesville, whatever you want to do, it's up to you. I do get annoyed if the guy goes, I'm still going to try to go in that store anyway without a mask. It's like, well, now you're just being stupid.
Well, and not only that, but now you're being unfair to the poor kid, like a kid like Caroline who works at JCG. You're making a 17-year-old kid come on.
Yeah. Play enforcement.
She didn't make the rule. Take the rule up with Robin Tannehill if you want to, but don't take it out on the poor clerk at Kroger. Come on. I mean, he didn't make that rule, and he doesn't make enough money to take that abuse.
To deal with you today.
To take the abuse. Leave that guy alone. So if you don't want to go to Kroger, don't. That's cool. That's your prerogative. Go for it. But if you're going to go to Kroger right now, put your mask on so that you don't make the poor 19-year-old clerk there have to come say something to you. That's not fair. That's where I come from on it, where people go, well, don't you think it's stupid? If I'm honest, I think the restaurant policy in Oxford is stupid as hell. You have to wear a mask into a restaurant. You can take it off at your table. You have to put it back on to go to the bathroom, but you have to put it back. Then you can take it back off, but you have to put it back on to leave. That's stupid.
What was my point last week is that if I'm just a retail owner that's not in the restaurant business, I'm annoyed. I'm going, well, hold on.
Yeah.
So you can spit on one another for an hour eating in the restaurant. However, if you're walking into my clothing shop or flower shop or hardware store or whomever.
Right.
No, the whole time.
Well, the hardware store's a great example.
Yeah.
So if I'm going to walk into Sneed's, and I love the people at Sneed's. They're great to me. I love those people.
Yeah,
it's one of my favorite stores in Oxford, frankly.
Sure.
Am I going to do the mask thing and make them throw me out? That's not fair. They don't make those rules. They're nice people. So I'm going to put my mask on, and I'm going to be a good citizen and get in and out. Am I preventing the spread of COVID by wearing my mask in Sneed's Ace Hardware? Probably not. Am I impacting anything? No, but I like those people, and they're nice, and I'm not going to do something that creates some issue for them. That's where I come from with it.
They are incredibly helpful in there.
They're awesome.
They are.
And that's not their rule. They didn't make the rule, but they'd have to come throw me out. Why am I not doing that to them? I'll put my mask on, I'll go get my charcoal, and I'll look around at all the Big Green Egg accessories like I always do, and then I'll leave. I'll pay, and I'll tell the person my number, and I'll say, have a great day, and she'll tell me to have a great day, and I'll leave, and then I'll take my mask off when I leave the store.
Do you have one of those rib racks?
Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah.
That's my next thing I got to get. I can only get. I've got we talked about this Malloy last week. I've got the large. You've got the extra large.
Yep.
I can only get 2 racks on the large. A third does not fit on that pan.
You know, my dad has a large, and I was cooking on his the other day, and the difference between a large and an extra large is so significant that the large looks so small now.
Really?
Yeah.
Like the space.
Well, like I did 2 briskets on Sunday. And I was thinking about his grill. I probably could get 2 big briskets on there, but it would be so crammed.
Okay.
And this way I was able to space it out. And
I was two racks of ribs was very complicated on Monday. Like it was fine, got it done, but you had to kind of chop them up and really kind of get it like start playing with the well, it's just like, the pizza thing. One large pizza is more pizza than 2 medium pizzas. Like, you get a little more, like, it really makes a big difference. Yeah. I mean, math, I know, but still.
I love ribs on the Big Green Egg. But especially when you get them up off where you put them in a rack where they're smoking and they don't get.
Well, I'm doing indirect with the plate, but then also a cookie sheet over that just to keep the indirect from getting all grimy and stuff. So, I mean, it's coming around pretty good. Yeah. It's not, there's no
What kind of smoke did you use?
Used hickory this time.
Yeah.
Because I like that kind of that smoky, like that kind of hard taste. Yeah.
I used post oak on the briskets the other day. It was really good.
I went a little too long.
Laura doesn't like a lot of smoke. I do. Like, you could smoke the hell out of it. I'm cool.
I was trying to just do the 3-2-1 thing, but after the 2, when I took them out of the full to put them back on, they were already falling apart.
Yeah.
It actually was that was like, okay, I've got to do it long enough simply to glaze a little bit and kind of get some heat on the sauce, but otherwise, like, I need to get out of here. They're gonna all fall apart. So anyway, that was there. So the brisket, how was it?
That was really good.
How long did you go? How long did it take?
Put it on it. It's 10 hours. Knock on wood.
225.
Yeah, with the Big Green Egg. So, okay, here's my brisket story.
It's a little hard to keep it at 220-ish. Like, as it just gets hot.
It's hot. So, Mott, the Ole Miss soccer coach, calls me. He listened to the podcast with Malloy, where we talked about grills.
How he doesn't invite you over and does nothing for you.
And he called me almost like breathless excitement. And he said, "Oh, you've got to get," and it's called a Egg Genius. And
the little thing. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
It's a fan that will control the temperature.
I think I saw Romero. I think I saw this on Romero's, one of his social media pages.
So I went to Sneed's almost immediately, and they're already on back order.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and the guy's like, "It's kind of expensive." I'm like, "I don't care. I want it."
How much was it?
He says it's like $225. And I know, I'm thinking, do I really want that? But the next
to guarantee the temperature.
But the next day, and I've gotten better at it, but I would go get on the Peloton for a little while after I'd started, and Laura sent me a text that said, "It's at 300. Is that okay?" And I'm like, "No.
Way too high."
Yeah, and so it's that big green, the extra large has so much heat in it that you'll get it down to 235, 240, and you think you have it under control, and it's a little bit of a struggle to control heat.
But what you're doing is turning it into Malloy's stupid thing. You're taking all the guesswork out. You're turning it into a Traeger or a Rectech or whatever at this point.
I studied those Rectechs after Malloy left. It's a pretty impressive deal.
Well, because he sort of was the argument where I'm like, "Hey, Chris, look, I mean, there's no satisfaction." He goes, "Yeah, it is. The meat's not overcooked." And I went,
"Yeah.
Fair enough. I guess that's the point we're getting to here." Okay.
But with the brisket, and I've learned this, it is simply a matter of you must be patient. You've got to get it to 170, not 167, 170 before you do the crutch wrap.
And that's well after the stall.
Yeah, it stalls forever.
Like 160, 155.
Yep, 161, 162, it stalls.
And
you're like, "Oh, well, surely if I just go ahead and
nope,
you got to wait." But once it gets to 170, you take it off and you can do the liquid crutch, whether it's coffee or the one I use now it's a scallion, a little bit of brown sugar, and apple juice.
Okay. And
just makes a little slurry kind of a thing, and you pour it in there and wrap it up real good in foil, and then you let it basically steam to 203.
Not 202, not 204.
Not 199, 203. And as soon as it gets there, you get it off, you let it rest.
What meat thermometer are you using?
I've got a digital meat thermometer.
Yeah, I mean, I
don't know. I can't remember the brand.
Nothing
it's good.
Crazy.
No, it's nothing crazy. It's good.
They work on anything thick enough to actually be able to get some.
Yeah, and then you just got to leave it alone, and then you just.
Patience is the thing.
Knock on wood, I kind of think I'm starting to get it with brisket. And with brisket, if you're going to do a rub, you've got to do the rub the day before, wrap it up in cellophane or whatever, and let that rub get in, because the piece of meat is so thick and so tough that if you don't give the marinade time, you're just wasting time.
It won't work in there.
Yeah. Like if you just do the marinade 10 minutes before, the rub, there's no point. Just put salt and pepper on it at that point.
Okay. Sure. I saw Rose's little thing. I just don't know that I can pull the trigger on that. Which, you can spend $4,000 on big egg accessories if you want to feel the need to get at it and
absolutely
and fill up the garage with stuff.
But like Romero cooks on his so much,
he cooks basically every meal.
Yeah, that for him, that's totally worth it.
Yeah. Let's guarantee it. Let's do it.
He does everything on his.
Yeah.
He's impressive. Like we talk about doing a grilling show.
Yeah.
He would be one of my first guests.
Yeah. Well, it's been his COVID thing. Is he's been trying different proteins or some different recipe every week.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I think he did jerk chicken the other day was one that he did. He's just.
I don't really like salmon, but I've gotten good with salmon and planks. And it actually is really good on the big green egg.
I tell you what I didn't like. I used a cedar plank for salmon last week and a half ago.
Yep.
I don't prefer it anywhere near as good as just a straight sear on a cast iron.
Really?
Nowhere close.
Oh, I'm the total opposite.
Really?
Yeah.
No. I like, because on the cast iron,
Did you soak the plank?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm actually, I soaked it in some of the mead. So I did. Well, it said use wine, anything. I was like, okay, I've got it.
Okay.
I picked one that I thought would complement. It was fine. No, on the cast iron, I'm getting like a little more Christmas, a little more char. Getting a little. I don't know. There's something. I just preferred it. The cedar almost kind of overpowered it a little bit. I felt like I was getting too much stuff.
Huh.
It almost came out as a salmon version of that Abita Christmas Ale a little bit to me.
Oh wow. Yeah. No, I didn't. And again, salmon's not my favorite thing.
See, I love it. I could do
but,
salmon.
But I'm trying to make myself eat more of it because it's healthy. Tri-tip. Tri-tip's good. That's come up in the thread. I'm a big tri-tip person. I love flank steak. Tri-tip. My neighbor Johnny, I've said this many times, he does the picanha. His picanha is fantastic. I can't do it quite as well. I don't really know why.
So what's your next thing? You got brisket whipped. What are you going to?
I don't know. It's a good question. I got to come up with something. I'm pretty good with pulled pork, with the pork shoulder,
Yes.
which is very similar. It's all about patience and the temperature.
Gotta wait on that bad boy.
Yep. But, and I don't mean this from a weight standpoint or calorie standpoint. Sometimes with pulled pork, it's so fatty that it's a little frustrating.
Just not getting enough.
Yeah,
out of it.
I don't really. Yeah.
What's it like doing it? I mean, it's very similar to even doing a pot roast. Am I going to have any meat in the thing, or am I just going to pull out chunks of fat?
Like that's just not really my favorite thing. Got some scallops. I got to figure out how I'm going to do those, stuff like that. I think that's where I use the cast iron on the big green egg. Like I got the big green egg, big cast iron thing.
What's that doing for you?
Well, it lets you get some of the flavor from the smoke, but it stops it from, just destroying it from a direct heat standpoint.
Okay. It's fair enough.
Ole Miss USMC says pork shoulder isn't fatty if you cut most of it off before cooking it. That's true.
Trim it.
There is a certain degree of trimming that you have to do. That's one of the challenges with brisket is when you trim it up, not over trimming it.
Because you got to leave some.
You got to leave some of the fat, or otherwise it dries out.
Did you start throwing things at your screen? I saw they're ranking all the different conferences' uniforms, and Rivals had the Iowa uniform 5th in the Big Ten.
Well, I got really frustrated because I'm a uniform guy. We taped a Soft Verbal podcast today, by the way, presented by Dead Soxy, and Zach and I spent probably half hour talking about uniforms.
Oh, why?
Because we just did.
What was the basis?
The Farrell, whoever did the SEC rankings.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Like, how do you get Vanderbilt and Missouri up there? Like, I had no problem whether you well, here's what I said. Tell me whether you agree. You can argue for a lot of schools as best uniform in the league. But if you have LSU and Georgia in the conversation, I'm cool with it because they both have classic uniforms.
Sure, yeah, that's fine.
Like LSU's uniform.
Very recognizable, no issue.
LSU's uniform's really good. The Georgia uniform, it pops. I like it. One of the things I like about Georgia's uniform is I like their silver breeches a little bit better than I like Ole Miss's gray.
Yeah, there's a shade or two difference. I get it. Yeah, sure.
We talked about Ohio State. Like Ohio State incorporates the gray throughout their uniform to a point that I like it.
It's good. It's fine. Yeah.
But Vanderbilt, I've never once looked at Vanderbilt's uniform and went, "Oh yeah, that does it for me." And I'm a uniform guy. Like
because you should be able to white and old gold. Like
yeah,
there's some stuff there to work with.
Well, I mean Iowa, black and gold, keep it clean, and you're gonna roll. I mean yellow pant, black top, white top.
Yeah, I like
the
old gold color's good. I like it. I'm in.
Like they gave Kentucky high scores. And look, Kentucky should probably win because they have the best colors handed to you. Royal blue and white, go.
You got to go pewter and black and screw it up.
But they screw it up, and they should be punished for that.
So Big Ten is the one I pointed out because I saw Iowa. I was curious.
Okay.
What number is your Iowa jersey?
A 4.
That's what this one is too.
Okay. I think it's Nate Stanley, the former quarterback, or whatever his name is.
So 14-1 in the Big Ten. We're not going to spend a lot of time on this. I just saw it. He goes Northwestern dead last.
Yeah, and their uniform's awful.
He goes Rutgers next to last.
It's bad.
Nondescript, whatever.
Yeah, sure.
Maryland after that.
Yeah, awful.
Because they've got the weird flag thing. Get rid of the flag.
Too much.
Be red, white, and black.
Yep. And they throw in a lot of yellow, and they throw in the flag, and they're just...
Well, the shoulders, one's got different
they
patterns.
Throw in they ought to just, at this point, they're so busy, they ought to just put crabs all over it or something. I mean, if you're going to go super busy, just go all the way. Turn it into a Hawaiian shirt.
Clam chowder or
be
something.
Done. Yeah, be done with it.
Michigan State, bottom half right there. I don't love green, but I don't think they do anything bad either. It's fine.
Okay. Here's my problem with Michigan State.
Okay.
I don't like the words Michigan State across the front.
You know what I love Michigan State-wise is their basketball uniform that has the state across and like the funky script.
I'm good with that.
That's the Michigan State. When you tell me, hey, what's your favorite Michigan State uniform?
Magic Johnson
that's the
sort
one
of
that
throwback.
comes to mind.
Yep.
Indiana, they do nothing wrong.
It's
They're
fine.
crimson and white. It's fine. I
like
no
their
issues.
helmet, actually, the IU interlock thing.
Purdue, 9. It should be higher. They do a good job. They're fine.
The uniform's fine.
Yeah. He has Illinois 8. Illinois has horrific uniforms.
Oh, you think so?
I don't like them. Yeah. They've gotten too carried away. They look like a Maction team.
Well, they are busy.
I don't hate the colors.
See, I think if you're a Power 5 school, you should not have a busy uniform.
Be confident that you have a brand and wear it.
Yeah. And you blue and orange, great color scheme. Navy blue and orange.
It's good. It's
a
fine.
great color scheme.
I know I take everything back to baseball, but like Cal State Fullerton has fantastic baseball uniforms.
Well, I mean,
orange,
if
navy.
you're Illinois, kind of copy the Bears.
Yeah. Frankly, their blue is probably better than the Bears. It's a little lighter.
Yeah.
So a little better
blue. The same deal. Just steal it.
7, Wisconsin.
And see, I think their uniforms are really good because, again, okay, so here's the Arkansas argument that we had. I hate Arkansas's uniforms.
Okay.
Because Arkansas has a ready-made, awesome uniform. And this is, by the way, this is not fandom, right? This is just keeping this real. When you see the Razorback, the Hog, you immediately know there's Arkansas. Fair?
Sure, yeah.
Red helmet, the Hog. Oh, there's Arkansas. Okay, so you're off to a great start now. Step 2, what are your colors? We're red and white. Simple enough. That red top that just says Arkansas across it, number, white stripes, white pant, 2 red stripes.
The Darren McFadden uniform.
That's perfectly great. And when you on the road,
white
the
on
white pant, put on a white top, red Arkansas across, red numerals, put the little Hog thing on the hip. Away you go. Go lose by 24, but by God, you're going to look good. But when you start mixing in, like Arkansas does these things with like, and if you're on the scholarship committee, I don't mean any of this. I'm just
You're playing a role.
But they do these like just swishes all over the place on their uniforms, and they'll go with Razorbacks in this funky font. I'm like, no, what are you doing?
They'll get Arena League on you fast.
Yeah, and that's what Central Arkansas should do. When you're like a Division 7 school, you're trying to like come up with something cool. When you're like, some high school, Water Valley High School, throw some stuff on the uniform. What the hell? Fire the kids up. But when you're a Power 5 school, when you're Arkansas and you have tradition, and they do, just bust out the simple. Go simple. When you have the helmet that has the Hog on it, everybody knows who you are at that point. Embrace it.
Can you imagine the freak out if Ole Miss said, hey, we're going to put some crazy-ass Rebels across the front of their jersey?
God, people would lose their minds. But, I mean, I keep waiting for the Arkansas people to go, enough's enough. And for the Kentucky people to go, we don't need checkerboards. We don't need pewter. We have a white helmet with a UK on it. Get a blue jersey, put the word Kentucky across, and put a white number on it with white stripes, white pants with 2 blue stripes, and come out there and go, we look great. We're going to lose by 19, but we look great. And you do, and nobody can argue that. And when you go on the road, put a white top on the white pant. Not the blue pant. When Arkansas goes red on red, I'm like, what are you doing?
They do look like a stick of big red gum when they do that.
Stupid. You have put a pair of white pants on with 2 red stripes and call it a day. It's a good look.
I'm burying the lead on my Big Ten thing. This is actually what I'm mad about.
Okay.
I'm assuming Michigan is 1 on his poll because of like the whole tradition, simplicity thing. I don't like their uniform. And if you're going to do that,
I like their helmet.
If that's going to be your argument, Penn State can't be 6.
Nope.
It's got to be 2.
Yep. Because Penn State, when they show up,
you know
it's Penn State. It's good looking.
It's simple. It's blue. It's white, and they don't screw it up. You don't see checkerboards all over the place.
Nope.
That's Penn State.
Penn State.
Okay. All good. He has Ohio State 2, which, okay, whatever. They can be 1 or 2. Michigan's not 1 or 2.
I have no problem if you put Ohio State 1. Ohio State, I love the way they incorporate the silver or the gray throughout their uniform.
It's fine.
It's good.
He has Nebraska at 3, and I might can make that argument if they were a Nike school, but Adidas does the stupid thing with the stripes, and they get all stupid.
Screws them up.
Minnesota 4. It's fine. I don't have to drop it down with Maryland, but it is not in the ballpark with Penn State and Ohio State.
Or Iowa.
And Iowa.
Yeah. Webb, thank you very much, my man. Appreciate you so much.
Yeah. He's got Minnesota 4, Iowa 5.
Webb needs a haircut, he says. I wish I could relate. He wants us to talk about the transfer from State, who else they could lose. We'll do that in a little bit.
Do you know?
I think I kind of know what's going on with a couple of guys.
Okay.
He's got Iowa 6?
5. Michigan, Ohio State, Nebraska, Minnesota, Iowa, Penn State, Wisconsin, Illinois, Purdue, Indiana, Michigan State, Maryland, Rutgers, Northwestern.
No, it really screwed up the top of it. So it's a bad list. Now we're talking about it, so it did its job.
Yeah, right.
And the SEC list, like with Ole Miss, he said the powder blue helmets might be the best helmet in college football, but you've got them 7th in the league? What?
That makes no sense. At all.
I keep waiting, and I said this on the soft verbal, so I'll get it out here too. I keep waiting for Ole Miss to say, hey, you know what? We've embraced this powder blue thing, and people like it. We're going all in.
Which would mean what?
Powder blue jersey, a powder blue look, a white helmet with a powder blue script. Houston Oilers. I think it would look good.
So you would replace the Navy?
No one likes the Navy. Here's what I hate. I hate the powder blue helmet and the Navy jersey. It
doesn't match.
I scream every time I see it.
Powder looks great on the red and great on the white.
Where is hand raise guy when, hey, you know what we ought to do this time is Billy Brewer, I don't care that he did it. Doing it again doesn't make it right. It's not a good look. Now, the powder blue and the red on the gray, I'm fine with it. Other than that, the gray paint.
My favorite actually has become powder on white on white.
I like that.
That's actually become my favorite, I think.
The only thing I don't like about that is that the powder helmet, you should match that color on the pant.
There should be a stripe that's powder.
Yeah. Mix a powder stripe.
Some of that's got to figure out what shade they are. That's half the problem. But he's got a lot of shades going on.
People either love uniform talk or they hate it. I just think if you're going to go powder blue, embrace it one time and see what happens. I bet the kids would like it.
Sure.
And that's all that matters.
Do you think a powder blue jersey is debuting in 2020? If Ole Miss plays 12 games.
I honestly don't know.
I don't either. But if you were going to, this would be the year it would finally come out because you got to order it so far in advance.
Yeah. If I could do it, I would do it. God, I hope they do it right.
Powder on white.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And it's got to match the helmet. It can't be 2 different shades of powder, and that's probably the problem. It's got to match the helmet.
Because the helmet's kind of...
The helmet's not really powder. It's that...
Italy blue is what Michael Thompson
So I would order an Italy blue jersey.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I think you could make it look really good.
You and I were discussing this morning. We think we have a week before baseball absolutely kills itself.
So Major League
There is the middle of a pandemic, and we're arguing about millions of dollars and putting off a horrendous look to the public.
They have fired a ton of minor league players today.
Did they?
Yeah. They appear to be a million miles apart. They're running out of time. I mean, June 1st is Monday. Is that right?
Sure.
So you want guys to report to Arizona and Florida or wherever for 3 weeks of spring. You've got to get that moving. They're running out of time. The owners are saying, hey, we don't have the money. The players are saying, show us the books. The owners say no. The owners say, take another pay cut on top of the pay cut you took, and the players say no. Meanwhile, the fans say, so wait a minute, in the middle of a pandemic, you're not gonna play because of money? You and I talked about this. I think Major League Baseball players could say, listen, we just don't feel safe. And a lot of people might go, it's BS, but okay.
Can't play the finance game, though.
Here's where they lose. Tell me if you agree. The NHL and the NBA are going to play. The NHL is going to go to 2 hub cities, I think Chicago and Las Vegas, and they're going to play. The NBA is going to Orlando. I don't know if it's going to be all 30 teams or if it's just going to be 24 teams. But the NBA is going to Orlando, and they are going to play. They're going to play.
Some sort of tournament.
Abso-freaking-lutely. And you're Major League Baseball, and you're like, nope, can't do it. Can't do it. Doesn't work.
Like, do they compromise? I know the easy answer is yes, but
I don't know.
Do they?
I don't know. I don't trust them. And here's the Major League Baseball's problem is that if you don't have a season this year and the next going into the offseason, the owners say, well, we're not spending any money. Do the players hold out? Because at the end of the 21 season, the collective bargaining agreement expires. There are people out there who think it's in the cards that they play 3 seasons, that they go 3 seasons without a product.
I can't see that happening. I feel like they have to do something.
I mean,
there's people smart enough to realize that's the end.
At some point, you dig in. But, yeah, I agree with you. In fairness to Zach and myself, we did talk 40-something minutes of recruiting before we did. Actually, 50 minutes of recruiting before we did.
Did you?
Uniform stuff. So there is a lot there. If you don't want to listen to uniforms, we still did a full podcast.
What's hockey going to do?
They're going to play. 2 hubs. Vegas and probably Chicago is what people are saying.
Like 20-something playoff teams? Did I hear that right?
I think so.
24 or something?
Just get a product in, play TV, get some of their money, mitigate their losses, move on. And if you're a hockey fan, you'll get hockey on TV. And hockey with no fans, still hockey.
It's fine. Yeah.
Be able to hear the sounds. Yeah. Probably be loud. Might actually be kind of cool.
NASCAR plays fine without fans.
Yeah.
Football and basketball are the two where you're like,
Well, especially college football. I still think with the NFL you could do it and make it interesting.
Do you?
Yeah, mic up coaches.
I got to get used to it.
You'd get a chance to hear just how loud the collisions are in an NFL game.
Tennis is fine.
Yeah, sure.
Golf's fine.
Golf was fine.
Yeah.
I mean, the deal the other day with the foursome was, even for someone like me, I watched 20, 30 minutes
that
of
should
it.
have been and they're talking about this, especially the European Tour already. For golf, and I'm not getting on golf right now, is mic up the players.
Yeah.
Mic them up.
Well, and
Let them talk and don't talk over them.
Well, this is
Shut
the MLB
up.
thing. You have this opportunity right here on both sides to say, hey, let's get above it. Let's get above this. Let's do the right thing, and then let's mic up these players. Put a mic on Freddie Freeman for a game. What difference does it make? Does it really matter in this half season if the Braves finish first or fourth?
No.
Mic up the players. Mic up Mike Trout. Let people get to know Mike Trout. Mic up Anthony Rizzo and Yadier. Mic up Yadier Molina behind the plate for a game. Put a mic on Trevor Bauer pitching a game. Be fantastic.
I'm not trying to derail you here, but are you seeing this picture that Gabe tweeted about a minute ago?
No.
If you're in a live stream, go to Twitter or Gabe DeArmond's page if you'd like. The AP image quote tweet. For those that are seeing this, I'll read. A man and a woman demonstrate dining under a plastic shield in a Paris restaurant on Wednesday, May 27th. As restaurants in food-loving France prepare to open, some are investing in lampshade-like plastic shields to protect diners from the virus. It seriously is a lampshade. It goes over your food and you, and it's like your bubble boy from Seinfeld eating.
How does he get the drink? Like, there's a drink sitting on the table.
It's outside the bubble, isn't it? It's outside the boundary.
How does he get to the drink?
What do we do? Also, is it? Or am I blind, or is that strings? Like, is this hanging from the ceiling?
No, it does.
Look, they're like puppeteer strings.
It appears to be hanging from the ceiling, which does beg the question. So could
we have found the image for the headline of the podcast tomorrow on the site? I'll go pull that bad boy from AP tonight.
Appears to be a lovely young woman.
Kind of looks like Justin Verlander.
Yeah, a little bit, maybe. A younger Justin Verlander.
Yeah, it's fine. It's not Kate Upton across from him.
No. But I'm sure she's lovely. What are they eating?
There's a lot of glare, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's hard to say. It appears to be some sort of a salad.
Is it? I do want to know about the drink, though. Is that a drink or is that something else? Is it a condiment?
It appears to be a bottle of water that you would fill your water up. So when they want to fill their water.
And the salt and pepper's outside, too.
Both of their salt and pepper shakers are outside of the bubbles. I don't know how
She can grab her napkin from under the lampshade.
Now, it appears that he could slide his hand out and get the condiments and bring it back into the bubble.
Yeah. It's not down to the table.
It's kind of a face shield that goes from what appears to be 3 or 4 inches above the table to a full foot above his head and a full foot above her head.
Ben, thank you. He says, is the typical MLB ump manager dispute over? That'll hurt MLB.
Yeah, pretty much, because they can go to replay.
Well, he was thinking.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I thought it's been interesting. One of the things we haven't even talked about it.
Now, will they argue, well, we're negative. We've been tested. What's the difference?
One of the things that some of the players are saying is, I've played baseball since I was a kid, and I spit involuntarily.
Yeah.
You're telling me I can't spit.
Yeah.
And I don't know that I even think about spitting. And other players have said, okay, I won't spit.
Oh, look, the creature of habit stuff like that, 100% difficult. I mean, I've seen, the golf's the only sport I play now. I mean, it took me a couple weeks to not grab the flag stick. I mean, that kind of things where it's like, hey, stop. Like, it's just, they're human nature.
You still can't grab the flag stick, right?
No, they don't want you to touch the flag stick.
What about, like, the sand traps and stuff?
No rakes in the bunker.
So it just is what it is.
You can move it over if you like, or kick it with your feet, or play it as a waste area and hit it as it is. It's up to you.
Just asking for a friend.
You can pull it out if you'd like and just hit from behind it.
Could you just pick the ball up and throw it up on the green? I mean, just for just safety purposes.
I think that would help you if I let you hit your drive, and then your next one you could just pick it up and throw it.
I would save, if I had one throw per hole,
yeah,
I would save the
for when
throw
you're close to the green.
For really close to the green.
And then flick it on.
Yeah.
Because you don't trust your chipping from hitting that son of a gun over everything and then having to do it again.
Well, like I hit a chip the other day that went at least 80 yards.
Just bladed that thing.
Yeah, I was like, well, that's impressive. But I don't think that's good.
You're like, I wish my 8-iron could do that. That'd be fantastic.
Yeah.
I thought about bringing throws into the play on Sunday. I did contemplate that. Thought about maybe making Braden hit a ball and you hit a drive and then going, okay, y'all are going to switch now and finish the hill with the other person's shot. Thought about doing that.
That's a thought.
Got stuff.
Yeah.
Got things as we're going through this.
My friend Corey Clark wants to know, are we going to take calls?
Would he like to call in?
I think Corey wants to call in.
Okay, open a package and then we'll.
All right, okay.
We'll deal with that.
This is from our friend Cole McCarty. Cole and his lovely wife Megan, friends of ours.
He's leaving his entire family home when it comes to football games this fall.
You got to do what you got to do, you know.
Hey.
I mean, hey, if only one person socially distanced, 1 out of 4. Wonder how that would work. I don't know. I can tell you,
it's not my problem, and I'm so thankful it's not.
I can tell you that there's just no way it comes to that. My opinion.
You still think all or nothing? Maybe not all.
Maybe not all, but
majority.
I'd be shocked at any number under 50%.
Would you?
Yeah, I just.
Okay.
I still go back to if it's only safe for that restricted of a deal, how do you justify playing the game at all?
It's fair.
Appears to be some sort of soccer gear. Nashville Soccer Club. People can't see it at home. That's what that looks like.
What is it?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
It is a soccer jersey.
Okay.
That one's for a pretty small person.
I'd like to see you try to get in it.
I don't think I could get in that one.
You don't think so?
No. Pretty sure I could not.
Is this more your speed?
This one appears to be much more my speed. Let's see. Yeah, this is an XL. It's a good-looking jersey.
That is a good-looking jersey.
Again, blue
it's not bad.
And navy.
I'm still not used to the brand names across the front that prominently, but
yeah, that's just a soccer thing.
Well, I know.
And soon to probably become a NBA thing. And thank you, Cole. It's very nice.
He
says the youth is for Carson. I'll have to do some sort of a return there. Carson's into a men's small and pushing a men's medium.
I've noticed he's grown up a little bit lately.
Carson's grown quite a bit.
Yeah, he's had quite the grow the grow up there.
But I bet I can make that happen. I'll save some of the documentation here. Yeah, Carson's gotten big, fast.
Anything else?
We have one more.
Okay,
you want to do it?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
I'll wait before I hit the button in case Bubba's already dialing.
This says for Neal hand raised guys. It's
that
a
is
big
large,
box, but it doesn't feel like much is in it, which is what scares me a little. If I'm honest.
Are you hearing a hissing sound?
I don't. Prepare for me to jump.
I have a note.
It says from a group me of Rebs fans, Neal, we hope this new gear will be useful to support the lifestyle you live your life by. We only ask that you wear it when exercising indoors so that the women of North Point won't cause a scene during one of your driveway workouts. Marriages depend on this recommendation, so don't take it lightly. On a serious note, we've enjoyed your podcast over the years. Thank you for keeping them going during a time when sports are practically non-existent.
It's a very large box for whatever it is. What is it?
That's funny. It's the Y'all Lifestyle bumper sticker.
Okay. God.
And a pink
A pink
Lifestyle T-shirt. That's fantastic.
Somebody at Christmas is getting that from Mr. McCready. It's going to be in a Dirty Santa present coming up. I'm going to put it on.
Not right this moment.
You
no.
sure?
I'm pretty sure.
I'll wait.
I know you would.
It's good. I guess we're set up, correct?
Yeah, if I put this on the F-150 and sent it to Clark Ford for service, I don't know that I'd get my truck back. Established in 2009, the Y'all lifestyle was.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Oh, 11
That's
years
what Brad
running.
Logan told me.
11 years running. You were a regular, Neil, back in the day.
Early on.
Had a bit of a falling out for some reason.
No, I just told him I'm not going to
I'm only getting one side of my headphones. You have any idea why?
Check. No, I'm getting them in both.
Right.
Only thing. Check.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I'm only getting a right ear in mine. I mean, it's fine, no big deal. But
yeah, I don't know.
oh, it came that time. Whatever you did, fixed it.
I just turned it a little bit. It might have been just a connection thing.
Oh, okay. Oh. How's it going?
Hey, Neil, Jason, Bubba, how y'all doing?
Oh,
Hey,
lovely.
Bubba, what's up, man?
I'm doing great. Just wanted to call y'all, getting ready to sit down and eat some dinner, but
What are you having?
just wanted. I'm having catfish. I went noodling on Memorial Day and got 2 of them and threw them in the freezer and cut them up, ready to go.
What do you use like tanks or like the old like tired? What are we using for our grappling?
My arm, man.
Oh, you
I go in
simply
there
just
and,
grab it. You're not trapping them, so you're not cheating.
No, I'm not cheating.
See,
ain't no fun
I
in
thought most
cheating,
people like take like the big drums and cans, try to like trap them in there where they go get them.
Yeah, you can, but there ain't no sport in that, and But
Are you ever worried about
took my
getting too big of a catfish on your arm when you're noodling?
I was more thinking of pulling a snake out of that bad boy.
Well, I worry about that too.
Well, that's I'm more worried about a snake than I am everything. Those cottonmouths will chase you across. But anyway, yeah, I got me 2 this time, and it was good. Took my grandson out and did that, and so anyway, it was a good Memorial Day.
Have you ever pulled a
I hope you
cottonmouth
boys-
out?
No.
Oh, you haven't?
Man,
Okay.
I'd run like I was running through hell with gasoline drawers on if I did that. So anyway, but just sitting here with my granddaughter, and anyway, we're getting ready to sit down and eat. I just wanted to ask y'all a quick question, then I'll get off.
Okay.
What do you boys think of these boys from state coming to Oxford? And I'll just hang up and listen. Y'all have a good night.
Okay. Yeah, we were supposed to answer that earlier. I think it is a formality as it pertains to Fabian Lovett coming to Ole Miss. I think they're just crossing some T's and dotting some I's. And there's another couple of names out there that are possibilities. I don't think right now Mike Leach is a particularly good fit. He's been hurt by the pandemic like a lot of coaches have, but his is not because of an inability to kind of do some things. His is an inability to smooth over some things, and I think stuff has festered to the point of it getting somewhat out of control there.
So who else is going to potentially leave? What do you got?
There's a couple offensive linemen that I think are playing with the idea, and then there's guys that I think will leave that won't necessarily be for Ole Miss. It'll be to go to other places. I think damage has been done in Starkville.
When's the last time somebody transferred from Ole Miss to state like that?
You're not in my.
I'm asking the wrong person.
I mean,
but-
not in my 12 years.
My sister.
Okay, well, that's
Corey's sister.
What caused her to transfer, Corey? What happened?
It had nothing to do with some dude she was dating and lived in Macon. Nothing to do with that. It was just, I think she switched majors or something. I'm not 100% sure.
Could she play linebacker?
Well, back then, she was hell on the soccer field. But no, I don't think so now. She's 6 months pregnant right now, so I don't think
Oh, yeah. That'd probably be a health concern.
it probably. What's up, guys?
What's up with you?
Just living the dream. What y'all doing?
Selling cars. You doing
Slinging metal. Yeah.
I thought you were going to call
About
and
to run out.
chastise Mr. McCready over here. I mean, he's talk about loading the family up earlier, and he doesn't go expedition. He goes suburban in the middle of his statement.
That's
I
a
mean,
good
not
point.
not being a very good company man there,
That
Mr.
wasn't.
Clark.
Hey, we sell both. If it wasn't for Chevrolet, we wouldn't have Ford.
Well, okay,
that's
hey, that's
true.
fair. All
There
right,
you go.
hey,
See,
hey.
yeah.
That's true. Y'all good?
Yeah.
No, we're just hanging out.
We're we've made it almost to the end of May, which I thought in the middle of March was a
Your
million
March
miles
lasted
away.
85 days. You were freaked out all
Well,
March.
pretty freaked out.
Nobody's March lasted longer than my March.
Well, that is
Let's-
true,
let's-
Corey. That is true.
Anybody else's divorce gone final on a Tuesday and the governor shuts the damn state down on a Friday? Anybody in the history of the world has their divorce gone final on a Tuesday and the governor shut the state down on a Friday?
That is true. That would make March quite long.
Oh,
So has Amory become Bourbon Street yet with all the alcohol passing and all the different things going on?
Nothing's even open. Nothing's legit. Nothing is. There's nothing to do. Nothing to do. Nothing to
is
do.
that
When is
because-
the world going to open up?
Is that because of COVID or was everything just shut down? What's going on? Because I mean, y'all
Well, I mean,
y'all didn't exactly
COVID-
like put in a lot of extra mask ordinance or anything. I've heard.
no, COVID kind of had the restaurants where, I mean, if a Mexican restaurant shuts down in Amory, it's a pretty big deal.
Okay, that's fair.
And they've got it where it's just still drive through. Hunan had this thing that went like kind of viral on Twitter, where they were like sticking a pot out of the Bisqueen and like making people pay for it and then bringing the pot back in and then giving them the change back in the pot. I mean, I don't know if y'all saw that or not, but
No.
that was crazy. But alcohol came in. I don't know, when was that, Chase?
It was first of the
I've
year.
had a lot
wasn't
going on.
It was like
But nobody's opened. I mean, nobody has said like, yeah, we're open, come belly up to the bar yet. So it's just kind of, everybody's just kind of
is
hanging
it bringing
out.
any other restaurants or anything in though? In all seriousness, and I know we're just doing an Amory status report here, but I'm just curious. I mean,
Not really. I mean,
okay, fair enough.
the lunch.
Somebody
places
bought
are-
like Park
are
Hotel or
open.
something, didn't they?
Yeah, somebody
Yeah.
bought it, and they didn't check with the city to see what
Oh, good.
all they had to do, and it turned out to be a little bit bigger project than what they thought. But I think he's got it back. He
All right,
kind of found a way around it to get it going. I
Okay.
hope, anyway.
fair enough.
But that ended up being a pretty big ordeal. When's Oxford open?
There's not much closed right now.
But you can't belly up to the bar in Oxford either, right? You can't go to like St. Leo and go sit at the bar.
Are you
I mean,
sure?
I need
I'm not
the
sure.
Grove.
I mean, why
I
could
think
you
the
not? You
Grove.
can go to into a bar in an actual bar and sit. What's the difference?
Well, I thought I saw where if you were at the bar, you're too close to the.
Oh,
Bottles and
if
stuff.
so, I don't know that one. But yes, you can walk in an establishment and drink, Corey. Yes.
Yeah.
All right, so what is y'all's take on, like, when are we going to be back to normal? I don't mean new normal. I mean just like normal, like
Like
can-
old normal?
no, I'm not talking about everybody shaking hands and hugging and stuff. I'm talking about businesses, and you can go into St. Leo and you don't have to wear a mask, and you can sit at the bar while you're waiting your table. How long are we from that?
Ooh. If it's not September, I'll be really surprised. I think
I mean, y'all are salting all my game.
I think the rebellion kicks in by then. I mean, assuming that the numbers continue doing what the numbers are doing now, which is a downward trend. I mean, look, here's my problem. You guys are both smart guys. Help me here.
Amen.
Go ahead.
We're going to open up Disney World. I'm all for it, by the way. Good. Open it up. We're opening up Universal Studios. We're opening up SeaWorld. SeaWorld, no one should go there. What they do to those orcas is wrong, but we're opening it up. If you can open up Disney World, explain to me why you can't go to an Atlanta Braves game. I mean, seriously, take a deep breath, think about this for a minute, and explain to me the damn difference. If you can go ride Space Mountain and stand in the line and weave through the line with all the little kids that have their hands on the rail the entire time, and then you can get on the roller coaster and and then get off and walk out and cross all the people that you're going to pass by at Disney World who've come from all over the world, literally, to see Mickey and Minnie and Donald and the gang. Why the hell can you not go see Freddie Freeman at SunTrust?
Well, there's no reason.
So what is it? So what is it?
Is Disney too big to worry about the legal side of this? And the
Hell
Braves
no.
aren't?
Disney has to worry about litigation, right?
I don't know. I know Pickles on the Hill does, and I know I do.
So
I know. I don't know. We hadn't had anybody. I wouldn't go get tested for the antibody thing because I didn't want to get where I'd had it and then have to worry about what that means later. You know,
like in
I
case
didn't
somebody
want to do
said
that.
you infected them or something.
Right. So I was like, y'all don't listen. We don't need to do that because if I got a salesman that tested, now I'm not. I'm a car dealer, but from the way I understand it, if you got tested and you had the antibody, you were a new COVID case, right? Like
for a little while they did that.
Yeah.
They've broken them apart now.
Apparently, having the antibody doesn't mean that you actually had COVID. It just means that you got exposed to the virus. Getting exposed, because I've had multiple people correct me on this, and I'm trying to get it right. If you just get exposed to the virus, you got exposed to the coronavirus. If you actually get the disease where you get it full blown, that's COVID-19.
Gotcha.
Is that right?
I don't know.
Or do I have it the other way around?
I don't know.
I think you're right. I have no idea what I'm talking about, but I'm pretty sure you're correct.
It sounds good, if nothing else.
It sounds great.
So can people walk inside your dealership like everything's open?
No, nothing has changed. I mean, enough car dealers gave enough money to Delbert and the damn governor that we were deemed essential from day one. We're like the first thing, like, yes, y'all are good. Y'all are essential. Nothing.
I mean, your part shop and your repair did have to. I mean, that is essential, though. I mean, there's no doubt.
Yeah, it is. It is. But, I mean, we've got, like, those little things you rub your hand under and it squirts out the hand sanitizer stuff everywhere. We've got the things on the doors that the bio whatever that it doesn't. We've got all that stuff, and we're not wearing masks. We're not doing any of that. But I have caught myself washing my hands and doing the hand sanitizer way more than I ever thought I would. I hope I don't develop a bad habit of stuff.
Have you been in Walmart?
I don't go to Walmart.
Well, where you
like
go?
Pig.
Okay, we've been in Pig.
I've been in Pig.
Okay.
Been in Pig. Not a lot of social distancing going on there.
Is there not?
No. You want to wear a hula hoop when you go in there. People stay away from it.
I do think the hand washing thing and the hand sanitizer thing is going to become a long-term thing for those of us that go through this. I think we will always. I went to my gym for the first time the other day. First time in 2.5 months, and I probably did hand sanitizer 20 times in an hour.
Yeah, that's part of the new, just way we live, you know. Which is not necessarily a bad thing, but I mean, I bite my fingernails like Houston Nutt does, and I've stopped that. So that's been one good thing.
I've had to be more cognizant of that. I'm a bad nail biter.
You know what? Now that you say that, I hadn't really thought about it, but I've had that habit all of my life, and I've pretty much gotten away from it.
Yeah. Tastes like Tito's, fingernail Tito's, right now, but I don't know.
Are we?
All right, guys.
Hey, real quick, Corey, you're a golfer. Are we giving Neil enough shots on Sunday? Are we got any shots?
Hell no. Hell no.
Thank you.
No.
It's completely unfair. It's like I'm walking into a pit of cobras or something.
Well, I mean, you're really, really, really bad at golf. Let's get that.
Yeah. Believe me, I know.
Should we play him from the ladies' tees?
Yes.
I think that the biggest hang-up is going to be, is it stroke or is it match?
It's match. So a 13 is the same as an 8.
So, yes, I should hit from the ladies' tees.
Well, we're talking.
And he should hit from Indiana.
What I was worried about is that I hadn't played the Country Club of Oxford I never played it.
It's hard to get off the tee. That's my concern because it is very tight off the tee.
There's going to be a lot of holes where he just gives up.
And it's not
not
punch out. It's
better.
out of bounds.
Yeah, that's better than if it was stroke play and y'all were sitting there and he's
he'd have no shot. No shot on stroke
27.
play.
27. Yeah.
I mean, his card last time, he had multiple 13s.
Yeah. But those holes that the pro hit the shot, that's not happening this time, right? Like, he's having to hit the shot.
I've got a few things built in to make sure we get into the back nine at least. But yes, for the most part, he's having to play all of the holes.
So why am I not hitting off the ladies' tee?
Because it's just too freaking close.
You're not a lady.
Yeah, I mean, come on. You're already going to get at least one tee box advantage. I mean, I'm going to play Braden from the tips.
That's the top
There's
one.
a
That's
group
what I played last
y'all
time too,
don't
right?
tell anybody this. Don't tell anybody this. Okay?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
There are a group of guys that play the ladies' tees at River Birch in Amory, and I mean my dad and his buddies that don't play them yet. They're all like, I'm not gonna play golf, and just shoot me if you ever see me on those tees, just kill me. I'm never gonna do it.
If you have to move up, then you're just done.
Yeah. If you have to play the ladies' tees, then quit playing golf.
Could Corey come be my caddy?
If Corey'd like to come be your caddy, he can come be your caddy.
I told him I'd come.
So
can
Corey come be my support system?
Yeah.
I probably can. I mean, I don't have the kids this weekend. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, 8:42. We'll give you all the alcohol you want.
8:42 in the morning.
Yeah.
8:42.
Oh no, I can't.
You can stay here Saturday night if you want.
Man, y'all are breaking the McDonald's rule. You know what that is?
No.
If they're still serving breakfast, it's too damn early to play golf.
Well, we had to make this work, okay? I had Braden for a very short, specific amount of time, so some concessions had to be made.
He's not special. All right, well, let me see if I can make that work. But hey, guys, enjoy the show.
Absolutely.
All right, buddy. Good hearing from you.
Corey joining us there on the Rafters Music and Food Hotline. Yeah, you can't play the ladies' tees.
All right.
That's not.
I mean, I'm just
fair.
trying to get all the
assistance you can find.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're getting the.
Could we put this on Braden's bag?
Cover up whatever his sponsor is on his bag.
Yeah, let him see if that'll pull him down a little bit.
We could put it on
there.
your bag Sunday morning. Make it look like you.
No, we're not.
We could.
We could, but we're not.
If we'd have known this like a couple weeks ago, we'd have got some real good golf attire for your situation here.
What should I wear? What top should I wear? Just a shirt.
Yeah, don't overthink it. Who we got on the line?
Skull.
Oh, what's up? How you doing?
Oh, just surviving another day here in Destin.
Yeah, you have 14 kids with you?
14.
Oh,
14
God.
teenagers.
He is sponsoring a senior trip, or chaperoning, not sponsoring, hopefully. And
so that means you can't partake.
Yeah. I mean, I remain relatively sober in case that I have to go down to the jail.
Right.
how much alcohol? I'm sorry, not alcohol. How much food do you need for 14 kids every day?
Lots. And yeah, they're going through the liquids pretty well too.
Okay.
So.
Yeah. How old are these kids?
But I mean, they're good. They're all seniors. They're senior trip.
Oh.
My brother's nephew, and I think they're
How many
chaperone
adults?
backed out last minute. So it's me.
That's it?
Yeah, Megan was here with me for the most of the week, but she left yesterday.
So what's your? I mean, in all honesty,
she's never left a beach happier in her life, has she?
You've got 14
No.
kids on a senior trip. What is sort of your strategy for how they operate? Like, what's your goal going into this thing? How are you kind of managing this?
I told them I wouldn't divulge anything to their parents,
Okay.
but I would answer any question honestly to their parents. So anytime you do something from me, just know that if your mom asks me,
That's fair.
I'm going to answer it correctly.
Do you feel like that has altered their behavior in any way whatsoever?
I mean, most of their parents are pretty understandable people, so
Okay.
I think that they've all been good. Haven't had any issues. I'm probably a little bit more tame than I was on my senior trip, to be honest.
Did you like volunteer for this, or did you get shoved into it at the last minute?
No. It kind of got down to the wire, and they didn't. The other, I think somebody else backed out, and I told them we all had them to our lake house over at Smith Lake about a month ago. Or actually, it was like the very first weekend of March, like right during that spring break, right before everything got shut down, and they all asked if I would come do it. So after their other guy backed out, and finally it kind of got to a point where they probably weren't going to get to go. So here I am.
You probably should have invited Neal over to Smith Lake to take advantage of the simulator for a little while prior to Sunday.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, down here everything's pretty much wide open. Like it's still, I mean, we joked about it being like a diet, like where you kind of ease back into it. And you're like, I'll have an Oreo, and yeah, sure, I'll have a little bite of ice cream. Like, oh yeah, I'll have a slice of chocolate cake. A bacon wrapped hot dog's fantastic. Sounds awesome. And that's kind of where we are down here. Is people are timid, and then it just bit by bit you get to where you're numb to it.
Are the restaurants pretty much wide open? I mean,
yeah, I mean just absolutely. So same thing. You can't go. I don't understand this. Like a lot of the bars that aren't on like all the beach bars, like Back Porch and Pompano Joe's, and those places are all semi-open air, and so they're not really closing off any tables. But any of the restaurants that are inside primarily or have some tables closed off, and yeah, you can't sit at the bar. Like I went to World of Beer yesterday in the afternoon to grab some lunch, and you couldn't sit at the bar.
Can't sit at the bar. That's for some reason that's stuck in my head.
Okay.
That's that way here too. By the way, Avery said that you can't even eat in St. Leo.
Yeah, they have it open
right
actually.
now.
Open. Yeah, I saw Snack Bar is reopening June 1st, I think. But yeah, St. Leo's still not reopened.
But you can't go up to the bar and eat.
They're not open.
Right,
Yeah.
Snack Bar.
Oh, I don't know. Not sure.
I don't know.
No clue. Not aware of that either way.
Yeah.
So how long are you there? You
Chase,
about done?
yeah, I'll leave first thing in the morning. The liquor store is still open if you need any Widow Jane. They've got the 10-year down here.
The 10 is fine. It's the 12 that's my hot spot. I actually didn't like the 14 as much, 14 or 15, whatever it was, as much as the 12.
My favorite is the rye,
Okay.
the one that's a very tan color. It's not dark at all.
Okay.
Looks really young. But yeah, I picked up a 10.
Big say it'd be worth grabbing
while
a
I was
10
down
for
here
sure.
just
There's
'cause
no
we had
doubt
it.
about that. Huh. Okay. Well, good enough.
Well, good deal, guys.
You survived.
Yep.
So
Have a
Good
safe
luck.
have a safe
Yep.
trip back.
Will do. Y'all have a good one.
let her call. Sent the soccer jersey.
Yeah.
putting
He told me
a
that I can
voice
send
to-
I can send Carson's back and get a bigger size for him.
Yeah, when it was unwrapping, I just saw him outside. He's
Yeah, he's in a growth spurt.
the voice is deepening.
Oh,
he's,
yeah.
He's
Yep.
going through the whole deal. Got a
Yep.
little Brady deal going on a little bit.
He turns 14 in October.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Not babies anymore.
I mean, that really is crazy.
I mean, Caroline's 17. She's a senior in high school now.
Is there one of them that's like making you feel older than another one because of their age or the way you kind of remember them or anything?
No, not really. All about the same.
Who's on the line?
Oh, hey, y'all. It's Mark.
Oh, hey, Mark. What's up?
Hey, Mark.
Hey, thanks for being on. I'm driving from Columbus to Knoxville. And don't worry, guys. This is not going to be another episode of Ball Calls, I promise. Though I will say this, Tony, Neal, something made me think of you today because Basilio was doing a show. Listen, guy comes on and goes, well, there ain't nothing much more important than Alabama football. It was dead serious.
Yep. I've been on
Maybe
Tony's
think
show.
you.
I've been on Tony's show a bunch.
Yeah, he's my Knoxville he's the guy I listen to out of Knoxville. But
he's been doing that show
football.
He's been doing that show for what, 20, 25 years maybe?
Who is it?
Forever. And
Tony Basilio.
I think he produces it all himself.
Yeah.
Like he has a studio in his basement, and I think he's on a station, but he's got an app, and I listen to it. He's been my guy for 20 years.
Yeah.
But I'm heading down to play some golf, and thanks for being here for me to have a soundtrack to listen to on my way down. I'm just past Cincinnati and heading south.
That was your long night. You went through Cincinnati, trying to get back to.
I drove. Was that Dayton?
Yeah.
I drove Dayton to Nashville overnight to get on a flight when Ole Miss.
To go to Jacksonville.
I had to fly to Jacksonville. Yeah.
And you were up here for the thing in Covington, weren't you? Did you drive to that?
I did drive to that. No, I didn't drive to that because I went in Covington. I flew from there. I had to get to San Francisco for Ole Miss Cal, and I had to stop because it was required. I had to stop in Chicago for a couple of days to see the Cubs. And so, it made perfect sense. And so I flew to Cincy, and then flew to Chicago, and then flew to San Francisco. But I was in Dayton. Ole Miss was in the play-in game in the NCAA tournament. They played Brigham Young.
Oh, yeah.
And they beat BYU. I got out of the arena in Dayton at midnight and drove to Nashville. And I think I got to Nashville at 7 in the morning, so it was like 8 hours driving. And that was a long day. I drove to Nashville. Flew to Jacksonville, told myself that I was going to sleep on the plane, didn't sleep a wink on the plane, got to Jacksonville, which is one of my least favorite towns in the world. If you're from Jacksonville and you love it, I'm sorry. It just doesn't do it for me. And it was hot and humid and just kind of sticky, and I wasn't in a particularly good mood, and I was in the middle of marathon training, and I had to get a run in on that day. And so I went down to a treadmill and did my little 7-mile run or whatever, and then I had to go to the practice facility to the practice and cover and write stuff. I do remember going to bed that night about 7:30 at night and crashed and got up and covered a game the next day.
Jacksonville's disgusting.
It is. I just don't like it.
I played TPC Sawgrass in August. I think it was August we played. We played it once in December, once in August, and oh my God, that was brutal. And I want for the Ole Miss people. I'm a completely non-biased person in this whole deal, but during this quarantine time, like I told you before, I've done I've deep dived into some old podcasts of yours through the whole thing, and I went down the rabbit hole of listening to Steve Ross his podcast, and I gotta tell you, he's the obsessed one, and I am not. I have no skin in this game. He's the obsessed one. That guy, oh my God.
Well, I don't think I'm even being rude here.
Real personally.
It's his life's work at this point. I mean, seriously. It's frustrating getting Ole Miss in any kind of whatever, or trying to create chaos is his life's work.
Do you think it's his addiction?
It's fair.
Has it replaced his other addiction?
I mean, you can make that argument probably.
It's so personal for him. Like, it's just
identity.
It's like he's giving you the deep history of State versus Ole Miss and how Ole Miss is the bourgeois school versus us farmers, and it's just, and they hate us for it. I'm like, dude.
But you know what surprises me about that, Mark? Here's what surprises me about that. I'm surprised that Mississippi State institutionally, the university, Mississippi State University, doesn't push back against him and say, hey, hold up, man. We really don't want you speaking for us. Because I don't know that if you're Mississippi State, maybe you like the marketing of we're a little more
accessible.
A little more accessible, a little more comfortable to the average Mississippian. But I don't think you like the idea of, hey, we're the
cow college.
The cow college, the working class.
Yeah.
We're blue collar. I don't know that that's what you're trying to market at a university?
He obviously has, he's obviously fairly embedded in that program, and I don't know if Leach will be different, but it's like,
all right,
do you really want this?
Let me interrupt you. I'm curious because if I do this with a lot of Ole Miss people, they're Ole Miss people, so that they're going to be biased, and if I do it with State people, they're obviously biased. You're not biased. If I give you the over/under on Mike Leach at 1.5 years, you going over or under?
If it's purely based on football, like how he does, I think it's under. Financial, because of the finances and what's going to happen with COVID, I don't know if you're going to afford to buy out a coach. It might be over. I don't think it's going to work. This is a line of scrimmage league, and he doesn't believe in the line of scrimmage.
Well, and I don't think I don't think he fits culturally, and I think you see that already. I mean, and I think you're right. By the way, that's an astute observation. I think the COVID thing is going to bail out a lot of people, but I'm really interested to see what it looks like there, if what happens to their program. Because look, I think Fabian Lovett is going to sign with Ole Miss / commit to Ole Miss, whatever you want to do that, here in the next 48 hours or less. And I don't think he's the last one. The other name that I've heard is Charles Cross, the offensive lineman I think he's from Laurel.
Okay.
And then I hear other names leaving Mississippi State, not necessarily to come to Ole Miss, but to go to different places just to get out of there. When you have a mass defection out of your program as a first-year coach, from a program that just a year ago was having a racial division inside their locker room that finally manifested itself at the end of the season, I just don't know that you can be a guy like Leach and it work. And look, I think Leach is a good coach. He's proven that at Texas Tech, at Washington State. I just don't know that I don't know in this league, like you said, this is a line of scrimmage league, and I just don't know that it works in this league.
I think he'd be fine at a Kentucky, at a Vanderbilt, even a Missouri, someplace where a novelty is sort of embraced.
Well, and where right or wrong, the ceiling is lower, potentially. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, State's got in the mode now where, hey, we got to win 9.
Yeah, Mississippi State wants to win.
Dan Mullen won there.
They're not, every school in the SEC wants to win, but, I think Kentucky's put a little bit more into it now, but like Missouri and Vanderbilt, like they don't commit the way Tennessee or Ole Miss does.
Yeah, I get it.
And he's not the Washington States and the Lubbocks and the Pullman Washingtons of the world is kind of where Leach fits, and he could do his thing. If he goes 8-4, if he goes 5-7, nobody really cares. And he could be funny, and but you get in this league, and it's different. And and this is even just not including the sort of racial stuff and his personality. I'm just talking about on the field. I don't see it, because I listen to a lot of Chris Landry, and he's just like the guy doesn't believe in defense. I mean, you can't do that in this league.
No, and you certainly can't do it there. It's you could get away with that at Kentucky and say it's kind of almost a throwback to Hal Mummy or whatnot. Although I think we talk about this all the time. I don't think Mark Stoops gets enough credit at Kentucky for the job he's done.
They have, when Urban Meyer took the Ohio State program to more of a national recruiting level, where like I'm going everywhere to get players, not just folks on Ohio. Yeah, I'll get the guys from Ohio. Kentucky went in there and grabbed those kids that Ohio State did not make a priority, to not only Kentucky's benefit, but to Michigan's depth commit, because that's where Michigan used to get guys.
Yeah.
They'd come down to the Cleveland schools, they'd get to Toledo, they'd get to Dayton, and grab players, even the Columbus area, and grab players that Ohio State didn't want. And now that's what Stoops has done. He's got a lot of Ohio guys on that team, and that's what's made them pretty. He's done a damn good job there.
Yeah, he really has. He's and kudos to the people at Kentucky for sticking with him for a while, because it took a little time. They kind of rode it out, and I I don't know. I got asked that the other day, and my initial thought was under.
My initial thoughts under it, but like we said, the finances might not make it possible for them to make a move.
Yeah.
But I just don't see it. I think Lane will be there. They would be at Ole Miss much longer than Leach will be at Mississippi State.
Well,
if they can. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, yeah, you're good. I was going to tell you, safe trip the rest of the way. I assume you're bearing down on Knoxville here pretty soon. So.
Yeah, I got about 3.5 hours.
Okay.
Playing at 9:20 and 2 o'clock tomorrow. I'm a member at a joint down here, and I haven't been down to it in about 3 years because I really enjoy taking a couple $100 bills a month and lighting them on fire. So I decided I might as well just come down and use it.
That sounds good. Well, hopefully the weather holds up, safe travels, and we'll talk to you soon.
Good luck Sunday, Neil.
Thank you. I'll need more than good luck, but I appreciate that.
Yeah. Thanks, Mark.
All right, guys. Thanks.
Oh gosh, you got all the luck in the world. Might get a bunch of member bounces, ball bouncing everywhere for you.
Who knows? Some
putts rattling the flag stick as they.
Someone else is supplying all the balls. If I lose them, I don't have to.
You could have gotten by with a dozen last time. You lost 11 balls last time.
Yeah.
So dozen would have made it would have made it work.
11 balls.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable.
You lost 11. Well, I mean, you say that, but I mean it's a real pretty hard golf course off the tee. I mean, you get sideways at all, and you're out of bounds and in the crap. I mean, it's Because as I said, I contemplated. I talked to Malloy about it. I said we can play at the university course, and your number's probably better, but Braden's number's probably better too.
He's going to shoot a 60 there or less.
Well, I mean, it's way too short for him. So yeah, he's going to get on some holes. He's going to do some things, and that's kind of my thing. I'm like, well, you can't shoot a 130. But you might can shoot a 140, 145.
Right.
And, again, he's not going to shoot 80. He's still going to shoot 68. So I don't know, something like that probably. My point being, he gets much lower and we really got a problem. So I'm trying to figure it out all the way around. Plus just availability. They are being incredibly good as far as giving things and trying to make it work. So that's the other part of this too. So appreciate Tim and Kyle and Margaret and all the people over there for helping out. Yeah, so anyway. I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, I guess you need a glove. I gave you tees. You need balls.
Yeah.
I'll bring a rangefinder to make sure you really got your distances
pegged,
pegged, because that's going to be really important. I mean, we need to know if it's 162 or 158.
It's going to really impact the way that I swing.
You do need a caddy.
Mainly just to keep the
a caddy, just somebody to kind of be around.
Yeah, and just to put the beer in the koozie.
Well, I mean, look, as a caddy, Jonathan saved you like 10 strokes last time.
He was good.
Hey, don't do that. Do this. No, don't be stupid.
No, he was really good.
Yeah,
and he understood me. He and I really got along. We were good. I think even he would tell you we were a little more kindred spirits than I think he thought we were.
Yeah. So,
let's keep this simple.
Yeah.
Don't overthink it. Just
don't be a hero.
Aim. He would say, aim here, roughly.
Okay.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Don't do the. Okay. What you need to do here is no. Don't. I don't want to think much. I noticed on the driving range, if I thought for any period of time, it was a disaster.
As Tom Cruise says, you think you're dead.
And so I actually did better when I just walked up to it, put the ball down, got my stance, and hit it.
Athletically. Be athletic. I mean, like, seriously, you see a ball, just swing. Don't go technical, stiff, hey, I've got to do this. No. I mean, because, I have too many swing thoughts. I'll have 10 different things going through my head. And, that's not good. That's a bad thing. So
Crash Davis, when he would say, step out, you're thinking too much. You're thinking too much. Yeah. I had to a couple of times, even on a stupid driving range, walk away and go, stop.
A driving range that, it doesn't matter where you hit it and is, 250 yards wide if it's a yard wide.
That's the misleading part, is I would keep it in the driving range. I'd be, and then I'd think to myself, but that's out of bounds.
Yeah, the hole is actually this little strip here that goes.
Yeah. But I did hit a bunch like straight down. You know where the red flag is?
It's about 225, 30 yards from today's.
I hit a few that distance.
Okay.
In the middle, right at it.
Okay.
And I was pretty pumped.
Oh, well, now if we can do that,
Yeah, I was pretty jacked
We can
when I did
win
that.
some holes. We can get this thing
That's
going.
the one thing about your stupid game is that when you do hit a good shot like that, it's got a certain intoxication to it.
Just takes one.
Yeah, I mean there was
Where your temperament doesn't fit, and I think you'll agree with this, is it takes a lot of work to be average. You know what I mean? When you're playing a game where good's very unlikely, it takes a lot to be average.
I just don't have 4 or 5 hours a day to go do that.
Or the obsession that I've got to go back tomorrow and I got to do it again.
Yeah. Yeah. And I just don't. Yeah. Now, I walked in and told Carson yesterday, I said, so I'm going to get you some clubs and I'm going to get you some lessons and you are going to learn how to play this game. Not to be good in high school or any of that stuff.
Just to know it.
You need to know how to play this game so that when you go to college, you've got a set of clubs. You could play. When some friends invite you to play, you can play, and you're not the absolute worst player they've ever seen. And more importantly, so that when you're 24, 25, and your boss says, hey, would you like to come out and play?
You need to say yes.
You can say yes, and you can go play, and maybe you can shoot a 94, and it's not the end of the freaking world.
Sorry? Yeah.
Because Carson's wired to be like, well, could I make the high school team? Who cares?
Yeah.
Don't get
Let's
hung.
start from here.
Don't get hung up on that. Don't even think like that. And that's hard to do to a 13-year-old kid to go, hey, you need to be thinking about your business meeting when you're 26.
Yeah.
He's like, come on, 26, man. That's a million years from now. But I did tell him that, and that is an absolute something that's going to happen and probably happen really soon.
Saying here, the Bourbon guys, $100 to the pod if you will wear a Cardinals jersey next week.
Next week? Oh, on the show?
Or maybe during the actual round.
Oh no, I'm not wearing it in the round.
You won't wear it on the round?
I'll feel dirty.
That's
I've done that before. I lost a bet and had to wear a Cardinal jersey for a week.
And the room flooded.
Yeah, and
remember that the press conference room flooded.
Yeah,
one day Neal had to wear a Cardinals jersey into the room.
That was God saying this is not right. I did not feel right in that jersey. No joke.
Itchy.
Well, I mean, all you Ole Miss people out in the thing, if I tell you got to wear Mississippi State stuff for a week, tell me how you feel about that.
Not ideal for a lot of them. It was a week.
A week. Tell me how you get through that week.
Whose was it?
Was it Scott Rowland?
I don't remember.
No. It was the David Freese.
Is that what it was?
That son of a bitch, yeah.
Put it South Alabama though.
I don't care.
Okay, just saying. All right, we'll wrap today's there. Appreciate the unboxing items, the liquor that we're having, and the y'all lifestyle and the jerseys from Cole and Mo and much more. Calls as well, and again, we're gonna do our best to stream on Sunday morning. We'll get something to you. We'll try to make it as fun as possible. So appreciate all you guys, and we will be back next week for the show. And again, we'll talk to you again on Sunday.